We are live here, Billy, of course. Casey Radio bringing you all the coverage as well as Frog Box via YouTube. And we're simulcast through there as well. But it's been an entertaining day's cricket so far. We're not far away from resuming the second half. And, of course, Springvale South making 8 for 225. A fantastic first day, part of the day of cricket. And I've got our President, Michael Hawking, who's been over at the President's Lunch, and he's come back, and he's going to have a chat to us shortly once he gets his headphones on. Of course, Craig Slocum as well. He's rejoined our coverage. All right, gents. Hawk, firstly with you.
Yeah,
the President's Lunch to start with.
Yeah, very good, mate. We had 50 or 60 people there.
Yep, very good.
Including Ross Hepburn, who's now on the board of Cricket Victoria, and of course there was quite a few of our current life members, and the ladies and people from Springvale South have done a terrific job today in providing this facility, but the President Lunch in particular was, and we're seeing that the benefits of it now, mate, of course. 25,000 sandwiches and what are those rolls called? Pan rolls?
Pan rolls, we've got pies.
I think they were brought across for slugs, and then we've got the sweets for, you can't have any of those, Billy.
But there's a little treat for us a bit later, I think, coming on ice too, a bit later on.
Yeah.
Which will keep us lubricated.
No, we've done well, but we've also...
His tyres are flat, Mick.
Well, just on the bottom though, Craig. Hawk, just quickly on the cricket, because the players are starting to come back out into the ground now. Fantastic first half of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I genuinely thought that Springvale South were on their way to 250, 260, but the dismissal of White and then Sketcher was certainly was one of the contributing factors to them getting to 225. Less than 260, of course, but I thought also the change in intent from the Buckley Rivers bowlers. I thought, they started to bowl back of the length instead of, they bowled too many half volleys early, they floated the ball up there. There was no urgency in the field, in my opinion, and I just thought they were just drifting along thinking, oh, well, we're going to get 220, 230, okay. But then some urgency came in when they were, 3 for 2 for 170 or something like that?
2 for 172.
And Ali in particular, and Davey started to bowl very well. The spinners did nothing today, but their medium pace is Patel. He bowled with a bit of fire, and he started to get the ball up around shoulder height. And the middle order from Springvale South really didn't handle it that well. So that's got them back into the game and to set it up. 225. It's a neat target. It's a difficult target when you're chasing. Of course, there's a lot of things to think about when you're batting second, particularly if you lose early wickets and you lose one of your guns. And that's what Springvale South really are attempting to do through Dowling, is knock White in particular over early and get the Sri Lankan boy in the what is.
It's all just about in readiness here again. It's Alex Nelson Reserve. As we said, Springvale South 8 for 225. Buckley Ridges need 225, of course, to win the premiership. A tie is good enough for them. Zafar Sheikh, who's opened the batting in the final series, he's going to take the first ball. And a huge crowd starting to assemble down here at Alex Nelson. There's still room for more, don't worry about that. And it's going to be a magnificent afternoon of cricket. And what can Dowling do as he bowls the first ball to Sheikh? And it's a full ball, it's a full toss. Sheikh hits it nice with a square leg to Baxter, and there's no run. Good afternoon, Craig. Welcome back.
Thanks, Jared. Been a good call, guys, so far. And look, as we're saying in the first innings, that full toss, they need to be put away on a ground like this. If you can't get them away, and then you find yourself tied down, that run rate's going to go up. So I know it's only the first ball, but they're the ones that've got to get away early.
Yeah, a bit of a nervous ball from Dowling. He really, that was a ball that probably could have been hit the boundary. It was halfway up the pad height, but he got away with it. And he comes again. That's a better length, and that one's nicely played by Sheikh.
I really like the look of him, Jared. I said earlier I did watch a bit of him in their semi-final against you guys out at Park Oval, and geez, my God, he's improved. He's a very good player, I think.
Yeah, no, certainly is. I think he got 150-odd Hawk, I think you mentioned on the cricket show, in the twos during the year, and that's seen him down to the ones, and ever since then he hasn't looked back. He's been very consistent.
Oh, he had startling for in the twos. I think he got 270s and 150 before he played against...
Dowling in again, good length delivery, played across the front pad, but straight to mid-on for no run.
He played against Hallam and got a good score. I think he got 49 against Hallam, so, and he looked very good. So he's a great addition. And what he was doing in the seconds, I'll never know, but he's definitely one talent that they've identified late, but they've got some benefit out of him late in the year, and particularly in the finals.
They just keep reducing cricketers, Buckley Ridges. And this guy, I think he came from North End originally, and with little fanfare he's come across, and he's a good player. He's a good fella too. He loves his cricket. Oh, Dowling in. Good length delivery, driven straight down the ground. Can he get it past mid-on? He can't. And that's Brady Sharp fielding there. He's a very good fielder, Craig. And that's one thing I noticed from the Springy South team this year. The difference in the fielding, they've lifted their game in that regard quite significantly.
Well, they definitely have. They're a bit younger, Goodsy, than last time I saw them, of course. But, no, look, if he can field well in this competition, I've seen a bit of Premier cricket of late, and the good cricketers here, if they can field like Premier cricket, even get close to that, then they're going to save 20, 30 runs.
Well, you look at Sharp, Baxter, Martin, Sketcher in the infield. All right, Dowling comes in. That's a full ball. That's driven out towards cover, where Sketcher is there. That's fielded in front of him by Mitchie Forsyth, another good fielder. So they do have a lot in there. And as I said earlier, I think Sketcher's good for 5 or 6 run-outs a year. So you can add a bit more pressure to those other guys. That certainly puts a lot of pressure on Buckley, but they'll be looking to obviously test that infield by turning the strike over Hawk early. Well, something that Springy probably didn't do.
This is what you've got to do. I mean, if I'm sure if Watson was out there now, Daniel Watson, he'd be 12. You've just got to test the infield. There's only a couple out, so now's the time to try and get a reasonable start.
There is 2 out. There's a fine leg and a third man as Dowling comes in. He's on the pads. This one's away behind square. Baxter's going to field that. He's a very fast fielder. He gets around. They do get back for 2 though. So running by Sheik. He gets his scoring underway, and Buckley Ridges, they take the first 2 of the innings for them off the last ball of a good Dowling over, and then none for 2.
Yeah, perhaps a bit full in that first over. Jared?
Yeah.
Only 2 off the over though, as the batsmen explored their length and their area around the crease, but talking about the fielding before, and Slope saying that the younger field, it saves you runs, but it doesn't. The big thing is it doesn't cost you. I mean, if you've got a poor fielding side and one that's carrying, a bit of weight round, etc., they can cost you a run and over. Now, in a 2-day game, that's 80 overs. That's 80 runs.
Yeah.
So that's a big improvement in the Springvale South side.
For sure. And I thought, speaking of Shaw, Moose Shaw was just walking up to the van with this look on his face. I thought maybe we weren't on or something, but he was actually just coming to grab a pan roll.
Yeah, right.
As it turned out, he wasn't coming to say anything at all.
Where are they all gone?
Yeah, Slopes, between you and Moose, how many have you had?
I thought we had 12.
We've had 4 between us, and I haven't had one.
Oh, that's a strange one. Joe, or is it strange?
No, it's not strange.
Early wicket taker, isn't it?
Yeah, and he has bowled this in this way all year, pretty much. They've gone with this tactic, and it's shorter outside off and right. Belts that to point. No run. He hit that nice.
Did he? What?
He had a few nice through there, Goodsy, against you in the semi-final.
Oh, yeah, don't remind me.
They went crashing.
Yeah, no, he can really play, this bloke, and he'll be setting himself. This is what they get paid to do. He's the professional, he's the captain, and he's in at the top of the innings to try and win his team a grand final, as that one gets defended away to the offside, while bowled by Butch.
With a short colour point and also a mid-off one, so yeah, very strong through there.
And usually a gauge of where he's going to bowl is where Sketcher fields for Springvale South, so if he's at mid-off, I'm going to assume that he's going to be nice and full and probably quick and straight. As he comes in around the wicket. That one's dragged down a bit. Oh, squared him up a touch.
Yeah.
Might have turned.
It took a bit of bite out of the pitch.
Any turn, Craig?
A little bit there, yes. I was going to say earlier, I'll wait till Dowling's over, but yeah, there was a bit of turn there.
All right, Butch in again. Gets through his overs quickly, and he bowls that one just outside off, and it's hammered into the ground by Wright and fielded at point by Martin.
Sketcher's still struggling with the autumn breeze. He's got that vest on still. It's not warm enough for him.
I just don't know how it's allowed being white in the white ball game. And that one's back, and he's across again, hitting towards point. Martin fields well. No run again, and that's a tidy over by Butch. I think that might be a maiden. It was.
Don't worry, Wright, though. He's just getting a feel for the ball on bat, and that's how you do that.
But that's why they go with the spinner, I think. They try and get through some overs early, Hawk, when you go, I'm just not ready to take him on yet. And all of a sudden he's gone 3 overs for 5, and they play a big shot, which is what happened to us last week, and he picks up a wicket. And so that's the intent of Springy, and obviously they'll be keen to see their spinners do a little bit better than what Buckley's did.
Well, it makes the batsman think too. I mean, all of a sudden your head's got to move, your eyes have got to be up and down, you've got to look at your feet movement, whereas the quicks, like, you're in a position short of quick or not.
And you don't have time to think there, you just go on and...
That's right.
Play on instinct. As Dowling, the quick, comes in for Springvale South from the Harold Road end. That one's down leg side. Good carry, but it's a wide.
I was going to say, Goodsy, last over I didn't notice much movement in the air. We know when the Buckley Ridges opening bowlers, Patel and Davies, were swinging the ball, albeit a field from the wide, but That one did swing out of his hand a little bit down the leg side, but that first over I thought was pretty straight. Yeah, maybe this time of day, and the moisture's gone out of the wicket, there might not be as much swing.
Well, there's not a cloud in the sky, is there? So, not conducive normally to swing, but the white ball usually gives you a few overs. See if Dowling can get something happening here. Sheik on strike, and that's a full delivery. Certainly giving it a chance to swing. That's nice and full, but probably a half volley there, and Sheik bats it away down the mid-on for no run.
I noticed too that they protect the short boundary, don't they? There's a fine leg and a third man, I think. I can't see at the door, I think there is, yes.
Yep.
And that's what I know Slopes would, in all the years he played here, he always thought that you had to protect that part of your boundary. Yep. A lot of clubs don't like starting with one or the other, but down here you have to.
Yeah, Dowling does tend to bowl both sides of the wicket a little bit, trying to get wickets, trying to swing the ball, so you should have the protection. Oh, there's a run out on here. Sharp picks it up and throws the stumps down. He's gone. Sheik's gone. What a mix-up. Sharp only had to throw it over to the bowler, but he decided to peg it at the stumps and he hit him. Unbelievable scenes here for Springvale South. They've picked up a wicket in the third over. In the third over of the game, it's 1 for 2 and Sheik's gone.
What a shocking call.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure who called that, but he wandered off down the pitch. Wright was undecided, but because this Zeke was coming towards him, he's decided to say, well, he wants to run, and he's running. Zeke was out by, 5 metres?
And Craig, we said we'll just talk about the Springvale South fielding, and Braden Sharp, he's certainly one that is one of those excellent fielders.
He certainly is, mate. He's panther-like over the ground, Sharp. He's very quick. He won the grand final sprint.
Yes, he did.
Down at Berwick a few years ago, for those that watched it. He can cover the grass, and he's a very, very, very good thrower, as you just saw.
Did you think there was a chance just to lob that to the bowler and then take the bowl?
At first thought, yes.
Yeah.
Was the bowler there? Probably not.
Oh, maybe he wasn't.
So that's why. But so it could have been a disaster for the fielding side, but
good composure.
Lucky he's hit the stumps, I guess.
Well, he composed himself. He didn't really throw it too hard, but he hit the bottom of the middle stump. So that's a really big bonus for Springvale South, because what that means is, Craig, of course, is that the champ Odawade comes in only the third over, and they haven't had to bowl a batsman out. They've got to run out.
Well, here's the game for Buckley Ridges right here.
Yeah, and it's upon us probably sooner than we'd expect. Springy South with 225 on the board all of a sudden feel very comfortable about things as Dowling comes in with his tail up, bowling to Ben Wright for the first time, and that's a good delivery outside off stump, and he lets it go with good pace there, Slopes.
Yeah, it was good pace, and that was the spot we're asking the Buckley opening bowlers to bowl in innings 1, if you remember.
Yep.
Just that fourth stump, just going over the top of the fourth bail, and Dowling's got that spot on straight away, but still, there wasn't much swing there.
Wright pretty comfortable getting on the front foot and leaving that one go, but Dowling will fancy himself here, I think. His tail's up, he's been bowling beautifully, 4 wickets in the preliminary final. And he comes bounding in from the Harold Road end. Good length delivery, Cut's gone to go in, he's dropped it!
Oh, no.
Cut's dropped it, it's gone straight in the bread basket and straight back out. And that's beautifully bowled by Dowling. And unfortunate for Quirk, he just couldn't hold on to it. He had it for a moment and it bounced out. The ball flew off the bat of Ryder, went for an expansive drive. Quirk wasn't able to hold it, Slopes. That looked pretty regulation.
Yeah, again, there was a beautiful length and line from Dowling, and as per earlier in the year, I think Dowling's got a couple of his edges, and one of them was grassed, and he went on to make 90 in the previous game at this very ground, so will that be costly?
Well, Hawk, that's a big play, isn't it?
Hard, fast, straight at him, but Ryan's a brilliant field. I mean, you'd think he would have caught that, but it went straight through his hands, hit him in the guts, and down on the ground.
Ben Wright coming off 100, the captain for Buckley Ridges, has been dropped on naught. So we'll pencil that one in and think about that a bit later on. He's off the mark now, though, because he got one down to behind square and picked up a single. And for the first time in this grand final, we will see Mahala Udawade with the bat. We've seen him in the field, Craig, which was unlike him. He dropped a couple of sodas towards the end and got him an extra probably 10 or 15 runs.
Well, the last 5 overs, there's been 3 drop catches.
Yeah, there has.
It's the pressure of the game, isn't it, at the moment, for both sides. So he's a 10-test player, Hawk, and an absolute marvellous player to watch.
He's a superb player, mate.
Anyone at the ground wants to see him go early. They're kidding themselves. We want to see him bat for a while.
Oh, yeah, I mean, from a spectators and a non-biased point of view, I'm really keen to see him bat for a while here, and particularly for our Casey Radio ratings, Billy. We want to see this bloke bat for a period of time because he's unbelievable to watch. But I'll tell you what, he gives you a chance because he plays his shots. He comes in from ball 1 and tries to strike the ball and tries to score runs, and he will do that. Anything remotely short goes the distance. Anything over pitched goes through cover. So Here we go, facing his first ball from Dowling, comes in and he's trying to smack it, he's got it, and he's gone!
First ball.
He is gone, first ball, he's trying to drive it, and Jordan Wyatt's taken the catch and told him about it. That is unbelievable scenes here. Ben Wright being dropped on Nort. The very next 2 balls later, Mahalo to Watt, he's gone for a huge drive, and the ball swung away and it's nicked it straight to Wyatt, who's got a safe pair of hand slides. That's a huge play.
Yeah, standing right behind that one, Jared. Again, I can't really see much swing, but it's the line and the length. That's the difference at the start of this innings. It's causing the problems for the Buckley batters, and having stood at first slip there, when that had a bit on it, that was an absolute fantastic catch.
That was flying,
He made it look very easy, but that was just going on the up, and he snaffled it, and geez, that's a big wicket. We all know that.
Well, I tell you what, for the first ball he's faced, he's gone hard at that.
So it does give you a chance. He does play like that, but in a grand final, you've got 225 to get. You've got 43 overs, 42 overs. He's gone super hard at the ball, and you've just seen your captain get dropped. To be honest, he's had a mare today. He's dropped a couple of catches. He's gone out for a golden. It's not what Buckley Ridge has wanted. And it's all of a sudden we're 2 for 4 here, and they're chasing 225, and it looks like 280 at the moment.
Looks like 325 now.
Yeah, it does. Look, it's going to take something special. We've spoken about Hobbs in the pre-match. We've spoken about him during the call. Hawke, he's been a big player.
Terrific player for a long time.
And this year he's been superb, so they're going to need every bit of him here.
Yep, it does. And at the same time, there's not much time to get the pace of the wicket. I mean, they've got to get moving.
Yeah, look, this is a huge amount of pressure, and that's an unbelievable result for Josh Dowling there, picking up the first wicket. Anyway, it was the end of the over, Butcher's on, and that one's played away to short cover, and there's no run, as Ben Wright has an enormous amount of pressure on his shoulders now. 1 run off 9 balls. He's been dropped already. Butch comes in around the wicket, drags that one down a bit, but it's played defensively to the offside to Quirk.
Yeah, quick enough. He's got to be very circumspect now, White. If he's going to go, he's got to time his run. They can't afford to lose him. They can't afford to lose him.
No, he's got to bat it through. And that one's tossed up, and there's a big appeal, and Brian Chapman looks at it. Is he going to give it? He has! He's given it! Oh, dearie me! He had a really good long look at that. Decided to put the finger up. It was a massive appeal from the Springvale South players. And Ben Wright, just as we said he needs to bat the whole day out, has gone. Now, Craig, you would have had the best view of that. I know Moose is saying that looked pretty good. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it just went straight on. There was no turn there. It's hit him just in front of off stump, and look, it wasn't going over the stumps. As you said, Chapman had a good, long, hard look at it, and it judged at LBW, and Ryan Quirk will be the most happiest out of all that.
Well, he was, and I think if there's anyone happier, it might be Darren Arter or Jason Quirk or the captain Paul Hill, because they're red-hot favourites now. You can see over there, there's a bit of panic with Buckley. They're trying to get blokes padded up. I can see Slick running to get his gear. All of a sudden they're 3 for 4, and they're chasing 8 for 225. Who would have thought? Who would have dreamt about this start for Springvale South? It's unbelievable, and Butch has stood up there and he's bowled beautifully, and he's just it looked like he just went on with the arm that one potentially, and he's picked up the massive wicket of right, and it's Troy Ost, it looks like, who's slowly getting his gear together, Craig, to come out to the ground.
Yeah, who'd have thought? You said it beautifully good. It's just happened so quickly. You're always looking for early wickets, but to have them 3 for 4 at this period of the game is huge. I think Butchie, just the way he mixes up that left arm orthodox with just the one that goes on with a skid rather than the one that curves in with the arm. Yeah. I think that was the one, and maybe he hit the shiny side, or not the seam, I should say, and just skidded on and hurried him on a bit.
He's a good bowler, Scopes. He's a terrific bowler, isn't he?
Of course he is, yeah.
I think Austin's got a bit of pressure on him, but he has played through this pressure before. I think I saw him get 100 in the grand final a couple of years ago, didn't he?
He got
not 100, but he did.
Yeah, he does get a lot of, and so does Hobbs. And